Hello, everyone. We'll go ahead and get started here with Layden, and then Coach Holtmann will join us. If you want to use the raise hand, we can open up for questions. Andy, go ahead.
Layden, obviously this is the first time we've had a chance to talk with you this year, and just obviously with Teo coming back and really being able to have some strong performances early on, just what has it meant for you to watch that growth after being with him all of last year?
Yeah, it's great watching Teo's growth. Me and Teo, we were roommates last year in the summer. So like me and Teo are pretty close, and just watching him grow and continue to get better. And Bailey does a great job with that because that's his position coach. But I feel like his confidence really just going out the roof, and just his ability to know the system and be able to like execute the system is really growing too. So I'm really excited for Teo.
And then
Nick?
one last one real quick. You just posted recently on your social media you're doing a bit of a merch giveaway throughout the year. Just kind of explain that to us and how that works.
I mean, I can't really give all that. My dad really is in control of like all that, but really just after wins, I have like shirts of like my brand, and after wins, I'm gonna just give away like a shirt or a hat to a lucky fan. And I mean, I'm gonna do it after all games. After losses, I'm gonna have Brett do it just because. But yeah, I really don't know all the details, but that's all I can tell you.
Nick?
Layden, Chris has mentioned not really being happy with how the second halves have gone, especially in the three games so far. So, from a player's perspective, what do you guys have to do better in the second half?
Yeah, that's funny because I was just talking about it, but yeah, for sure. We even have that's been an issue for us even last year, but I feel like just we have to come out just ready, come out the locker room, just get moving. I feel like we just still moving slow. We go back at halftime, sit down, and like coming out, we just got to get back our bodies moving and get back locked in. And I think that's one thing that we need to work on and continue to improve on. But I feel like that's just the main reason. Just coming out of that halftime, just juiced up, and ready to go, get back locked in.
Joey?
Hey, what's up, Layden? I wanted to ask you about your dynamics on the court with NJ. I asked NJ after the game on Monday about you and him with the lobs. Like, just how exciting is it for you to throw those lobs to him, all the time?
I mean, yeah, for sure, it's really fun. I mean, just playing within the offense and making the right read. NJ does a great job of just staying low and making himself available. And it also helps because when I'm getting in the paint, so it forces his man to come help. So, it's fun playing with NJ because he's a lob threat, athletic and long arms. And, once I get in the paint, he's there, I'm going to throw it up. He has to go get it. He knows it.
Ashley?
Hi, Layden. Just what worked well for you guys offensively in the paint to be able to score 42 paint points against Chicago State?
Really, we knew going into the game that they like to pressure a lot. They overpressure. They just play really hard. So, our game plan really I mean, paint touch are going to be there since they play so hard and just drive by them, getting to pay 2 feet. And then our spacing, coach has been emphasizing about our spacing a lot. So when our spacing was well, we was able to get the looks we wanted to get.
Scott?
Hi, Layden. Chicago State obviously pressed you guys quite a bit and tried to apply a lot of pressure in the backcourt. What's been done to work on the press break throughout preseason and to kind of prepare for those full court presses that you might face during the season?
Really just what we work on in practice, just, we have some press breaks we work on in practice and even like late game situations that we do in practice just to get us accustomed to what it's going to be like, in different situations of the game and any point in time in the game. So really just working on it in practice.
Andy?
Layden, obviously with some of the injuries last year, you got a bit of a head start, but now that you're like officially the full-time point guard, how do you feel you've kind of adjusted to that role early on in the season, even though it's only been two exhibitions in one game?
I feel like I adjusted pretty well, just how the second half of the season last year, like you said, was guys start getting hurt, guys have start having to, pick up and we was playing, like seven guys. So I feel like that confidence that I got towards the end of the season when I had to bleed a point guard, it really like carried over to this season. And the coaches did a great job of, doing that and helping me with that and just telling me to be confident. And I feel like that was really the main reason.
Anything else for Layden? All right. Thank you then, everyone. We'll have Coach Holtmann here starting in just a minute.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go ahead and start with questions for Coach Holtmann. If you guys can raise your hand on Zoom here, we can get started. Scott?
Chris, what are some things that you're trying to build on entering this second game with Stonehill from the first game, and some of the things that you've developed with this rotation over time?
Yeah. First of all, let me just kind of give a brief introduction to our game tomorrow. Stonehill's a team that's very different than Chicago State in a lot of ways, and they've got a good team. They've got good, really good shooting, and they shoot a lot of threes. They are a group that has good size, 6'10", about 250, 6'8", 220, 230 on their front line. Good young guards, talented players, good scoring off the bench. Got 6'4" point guard that can facilitate and then shooting on the wings. Their big is physical. Based on the exhibition games we've been able to see at this point, they've played very well in those. Played very well in those exhibitions against the other Division of One opponents that they played. So we need to we need to continue to we need to have great preparation for tomorrow night, and we need to continue to grow in the areas we've identified it, being able to sustain an effort longer than what we've been able to do at this point, be able to play through some fatigue, and a lot of that is sustaining an effort, playing harder, longer, being more disciplined defensively and offensively. Thought we had just had too many loose possessions, Scott, on offense and on defense, particularly in the second half. Not as many in the first half. First half, I thought it was, pretty clean, but as we graded out the film, we had a lot of loose possessions, and we're not going to be able to do that tomorrow night. I think we're going to need to be much cleaner in what we do for longer than what we were.
Nick?
Chris, with the news about Fabian, what's realistic for him this season? Like, how much of a ramp up does he need? Like, what is a realistic expectation for him this year?
I think that we just have to continue to get him. He's not necessarily ready to play long, sustained minutes. He didn't get here until just recently, so he's still getting in condition. He's still learning our system. He missed an entire summer. The plan was always to redshirt him and prepare him for next year. Bottom line, this year for him is about preparation for next year, and that's the way it's always been. Now, are there going to be opportunities as we continue to play games where he grows and can play? Sure, but this really is about using this year for him. He's still a young player, so this is about him learning our system. Would it have been a little bit different had he been here all summer? Sure, because he would have been able to just understand our system and also understand, getting conditioned. The thing that was difficult, even though he has been here since the start of fall, you don't want to, when you don't know if if the waiver's going to go through, you don't want to take his reps away from NJ, Kaman, and guys like Jeremy in practice. So you can do some things to continue to get him in shape, but you're not going to take those reps away because we didn't know he was going to be available until just a couple days ago. So I think at this point it's about just taking it day by day with him, see how he progresses, and we'll go from there.
Ashley?
Hey, Coach. So you mentioned that Stonehill has really great shooting. They take a lot of three-point shots. Just kind of what's the defensive approach to combat that shooting?
I think you got to have great awareness. They also have guys that can do both. Ashley, they've got guys that can do both, that can deck it, that can score it off the bounce. I mentioned their big is 6'10", 6'11", 245. He's got pretty good mobility. He's got really a strong kid. He's an older kid. So obviously, much better size and skill than what we saw the other night. So I think we've just got to have great awareness where they are and their actions that create open looks.
Joey?
Hey, Coach. Obviously the decision to redshirt Isaiah, just kind of what went into that decision and kind of what you hope that he takes out of, this redshirt year.
Well, I think for him, it's a real benefit to him. In today's climate, a young man you know, can have an extra year to get better and have an extra year to earn NIL while you're earning NIL as a freshman. It's really a tremendous benefit, really. So you get the development piece, you also get an NIL piece that's a component of that. So it's really a great thing for a young player. Sometimes they look at it like that. Sometimes they don't quite have the perspective, but they will. I think he understands this is a really good thing for him, and he just needs to get better all year and prepare himself for next year.
Nick?
Chris, after the Chicago State game, you mentioned having a sour taste in your mouth about the second half, and you mentioned that after the exhibitions too. Is it the same issues that keep, and like without giving away state secrets, like is it the same issues or are they different issues? Like what have you and your staff kind of determined those slow seconds halves to be?
Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned it after Notre Dame. Did I, Nick? I don't think I did.
I don't know, I wasn't there. I just remember a Loyola as well.
Yeah, yeah, I really was disappointed with the start of the Loyola. Really, the first 10 minutes of the start of the second half. I think it's what every coach is pushing for right now is we're very much a work in progress. We're maybe other teams are further along at this point. I don't know because I don't follow other teams like that. This is not unlike other teams that I've coached in the past, where it's just you're challenging guys to be able to play with more detail, Nick, and more sustained effort on the defensive end, on the glass. You're challenging them to do that longer and harder than what they're doing right now, with more attention to detail. Offensively, to play with more purpose, better spacing, more ball movement. Now, when we do those things, I think we've shown the ability to really play well. But it's our job as coaches. It's my job. We need to be able to do that longer and more possessions than what we're currently doing.
Andy?
Coach, obviously at a preseason media day, you told us that there were still some things you wanted to see from Caleb and that he was still kind of learning the system. Obviously, he was sick before Notre Dame, and you really only got like 3 game rotations with him. But just talk about how he's kind of come along and what you're still looking to see from him.
Yeah, he's getting better. He's had a really good couple days of practice, and he's been aggressive. Offensively, I think when you join a new team, it does take you a little bit to learn the system, and we're playing a little bit of a different kind of motion offense, a flow motion offense than what we played last year. So that's not that he was here last year, but that takes a minute. He plays an important role in it due to his position. I don't necessarily want to get in the weeds on all that, but he plays an important role in our offense. So I think he's getting comfortable with that. And also got to remember now, he played 2 years of man-to-man defense at Indiana, but last year he played zone for every possession of every game last year. So when you go from playing matchup zone and you come in and you have a brand new system to learn defensively, that takes you a little bit of time. So I would expect, as long as he has the right approach, the right work ethic, that he'll continue to grow and get better as the year goes on.
Ashley?
Yeah, coach. So you mentioned the second half performances and the struggles, and you talked about how you want to challenge your guys to fix that. How do you approach doing that, whether in practice or if that's something you kind of tell them consistently?
Yeah, it's a lot of film breakdown, and you really want, um, as a coach right now, you certainly don't want to play your perfect game in November, and um, you don't want to play. You just don't. You want to continue to have more quality possessions as the year goes on. So it's a lot of film work, Ashley, a lot of film breakdown, individual conversations, and then practice. Practice. I think the one thing that's going to be really good, again, I think we're playing a good opponent tomorrow night. So, you're going to see us get, you know, challenged, exposed, however you look at it, in certain ways. And we've got to be able to respond to that in real time and fix it and move forward.
Andy?
Coach, obviously Ilya got a few shots to fall in the previous game, and I know, night to night that's not going to be, the biggest focus, but what have you kind of seen from him in terms of adjusting to this system and getting more comfortable now that he's got some game reps under his belt?
Yeah, it was good to see him. It was good to see him make a couple shots because he shot it so well in practice. Just really well in practice, and really, really well in drill work. So it's good to see him, make a couple shots and feel good about that. Um, I was really good to see. I think he's just got to be, he's got to be, really good at what he's good at, and that is finding open threes, defensively being tough and physical. He's got to be able to rebound better as a guard than what he does right now. I think that's the biggest thing, one of the biggest things we're challenging him with. He's got to rebound better as a guard, and he's got to continue to play with kind of the ability to move in space and play off the ball and play simple basketball that he did the other night.
Anything else for Coach? All right, then. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
Good being
Chris.
with you.